Okay, so we are going to be talking about essay writing today. We're going to go right from the introduction and the first part of the introduction, the hook, all the way to the conclusion. So our introduction, your very first paragraph, because what you're going to be writing for this assignment for Animal Farm is a 5-paragraph essay. Your first paragraph is an introduction. It starts pretty broad. As you can see, it's an inverted triangle. So it starts broad with a general statement, our hook, and then narrows down right to the main points you're going to be making. Unlike your paragraph that you wrote in Unit 2, in this one, between your hook and your thesis, you're going to have some background information. This is going to give your reader some background information either on the topic you're discussing, whether that's like figurative language point of view, or maybe background knowledge on Orwell or the novel, just some sort of background to help them, to give context to your thesis, and then an overview of your points. Your thesis is the first thing that you should write for your essay. You can't really write an essay or start like researching until you know what you're trying to prove, and that's what your thesis is. For the thesis in this assignment, there are essay topics, and you need to kind of answer you need to answer those questions to create a thesis. And because this is a literary essay, all of the topics, essay topics about character or figurative language, point of view, tone, symbols, those are all forcing you essentially to look at the literary elements, and they want you to ultimately, what I want you to do in this essay is talk about how Orwell writes his novel. So an example thesis is here. Orwell uses figurative language to effectively develop the theme, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Okay? So we're going to talk about how Orwell uses symbols, figurative language, point of view. Basically, that's what you're going to be doing in this essay. From your thesis, the next thing you're going to try and figure out is what your 3 main supporting points are going to be, because you are going to need 3 body paragraphs for this essay. And these all need to prove your thesis and support it. So if we're using my example, figurative language develops theme, what I might do is have each body paragraph talk about a different figurative element, metaphors, illusion, imagery, whatever the case may be. And you're going to have to figure out what your 3 main points are. But each body paragraph should be about a point that's going to support your thesis. Within those body paragraphs, you're going to need at least 2 proofs. These are direct quotes from the novel. And as we did in the first unit, as we did in the second unit, you're using MLA formatting. We're going to go into a little bit of detail because there's been some confusion around what that looks like. So an in-text citation is MLA, right? You have your little brackets after your quote. We're doing prose, not a play, so you kind of ignore that. But in our prose, it says, it was surmounted by a portrait of Napoleon in profile, executed by Squealer in white paint. Orwell 28, period. So please note that the punctuation comes after the bracket. You do not need to include a comma within your brackets or any other. The punctuation comes after your bracket. If you have a longer quote, you're going to do some fun stuff. I would ultimately avoid longer quotes, but let's say you needed to like quote a long piece of text. You're going to indent it. You're going to single space it, opposed to double spacing, which is what your essay should be written in. You're going to and then write the author and page number in there. I didn't use Shakespeare in here because I've mentioned him before, the quote. But yeah, I would just avoid using longer quotes. Try and use short ones. And then you need a works cited page. At the end of your essay, it is on a separate page of paper, okay? And you're going to list the sources that you used. In this case, you might just use Animal Farm, but still it needs to be on a separate page. Please call it works cited, not bibliography. Basic rules: center the title at the top of the page, double space, indent if there's a second line. You probably won't need a second line. Alphabetize, and this is only if you have more than one author. Here is what you will use for Animal Farm. So Orwell, George, Animal Farm, San Diego, Harcourt, Brace Co., 1946. And please pay attention to the punctuation. Okay, you need to introduce your quotes. They should not be a sentence by themselves in your paragraphs. They should somehow be introduced. So you introduce them somehow by saying, like, in the novel, Orwell says, or Piggy says, or sorry, Squealer says. Introduce them somehow, okay? Please, 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 please. We call that embedding. Body paragraphs. So for your body paragraphs, they're going to follow the structure: topic, sentence, point, proof, explanation, point, proof, explanation, and then a transition sentence. This information is all in the essay outline that is on our website. Please, please use it. it'll help you organize and make sure you don't miss anything. But you make your point. Similar to our paragraph in the second unit, you have a point, proof, and then where the rubber meets the road, really where you're going to get your level 4 is how you explain that quote and how it supports your point, ultimately supporting your thesis. This is a lovely example. Feel free to pause here. It's an example from Romeo and Juliet of what a body paragraph would look like. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but pause if you want to look at it. We're not doing 2 body paragraphs, so we're doing 3. So this order is going to look a little bit different. Your first body paragraph should be your average point. Your second body paragraph should be your weakest, and your third body paragraph should be your strongest. So pretend there's a third one in the middle there. That's your weakest point. Sorry, I didn't change that. Transitions, you need them between your paragraphs and between the points within your paragraphs. Make sure you're transitioning. There's more words on other websites, but here's some examples: to begin with, or in other words, on the contrary, notwithstanding, to say nothing of, above all, in addition. Just make sure you're transitioning between your paragraphs and your points. We already did this, so I'm not sure why that's in here. Just a review: introduction, argument 1, argument 2, argument 3, and then your conclusion is the other side of the triangle. So, a regular triangle. So you're going to start with your thesis statement, summarize your arguments, and then make a general statement, which usually connects back to your hook, similar to our paragraph that we did in Unit 2. You're going to try and connect back to your hook. If you asked a question, if you made a quote, try and connect them. There should be no new information in your conclusion. You're really just restating what you said. It's summary. It's restating everything that was in your essay. So in this case, we've got thesis, argument 1, argument 2, and you would have the third argument, and then your conclusion. Okay. There in MLA, there are no title pages, so please don't give me a title page. What you do need to include is some formatting on your first page. Your pages should be numbered with your last name, and then, so let's get my little guy. It should be with your last name, and then the page number. You can do this in Google Docs. You just go insert page number, and then you change the header. It's really easy. Look at a video, okay? Honestly, the amount of times that students don't do this, it's the simplest thing. Just watch a YouTube video. You guys are pretty good at that. Put your name, okay? My name, Caitlin Kemp, right in here. Our course code, which is this, and the date that you submitted it, not the due date, the date that you submitted it, and then the title. And you go right into your introduction, okay? No title pages, that's what you do for MLA. Okay, so 12 font, you just use a regular font, but make sure it's 12 point, double space, please. There, again, no title page. There should be numbers. The title of your essay should not be Animal Farm Essay. It's super, super boring. Please, please don't give me like a bunch of essays that say Animal Farm Essay. Be creative. Your works cited page should be on a separate page. And please keep the margins normal. Sorry about that. I'm at school right now. Okay, so that is the end. That's how an essay should look and be written. Again, if you have any questions, just email me and ask.